Welcome back to Morning Express, and today is Thursday. It's time for Tech Central, and well, as you can see, we've got a number of contraptions here, and I will not try to explain to you what they are, but I have gentlemen who are going to do exactly that. And joining me now is Alex Menju, who is from Integrated Alcohol and Sound System. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
We also have Levin Nganga, who's also from the same organization, Integrated Alcohol and Sound System. All right, so maybe just basically describe to me what we have here, because I can see something that looks like a drink that many would probably be left thirsty. But anyway, maybe you can explain what this is.
So basically, the Integrated Alcohol and Sound Detection System is basically a system which tries to curb or rather prevent drunk drivers from driving their vehicle, as well as playing loud music from the stereo system while driving their vehicle. So in essence, it tries to automate and phases out the manual methods which are currently existing in detecting the alcohol as well as sound played from this system.
Okay, and maybe before we come to how it exactly works, you know, what the process is, maybe let me know what made you come up with this? Because I mean, one would imagine that alcohol blow is there and should be enough. What made you come up with this?
The first thing, our main motivation as to why we came up with this project, the first idea was there are numerous number of deaths which occur annually. We normally lose around 1.5 million people worldwide due to road accidents, and the major cause of these accidents are drunk driving.
Okay, and I can see you have statistics here. Maybe just run us through this, because maybe it might be important to note why you find the need to actually have this done.
Yeah. As you can see, these statistics, it came from NTSA. So this statistics is ranging from 2005 to 2015. Yeah. It shows how people have been dying through road accidents. And basically, out of these 3,000, maybe, which came from 2015, half of them died due to road accidents.
Okay. Yeah. Now, these road accidents, is there a way of telling whether these road accidents are out of carelessness or is it drunk driving?
Yeah, there's a graph which actually it's from NTSA, and it showed that like half of it is due to drunk driving.
Drunk driving.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that all these lives annually, if we lose 3,000 people per year, it translates to an economic scale of 5.6% of the GDP, which is equivalent to 300 billion Kenya shillings. You can imagine due to this. And the major cause being drunk driving, as well as poor driving habit, which in this case we're talking about playing loud music from the stereo system while driving the vehicle.
Okay, so basically this system of yours takes care of two things. One is drunk driving, and two, loud music. Let's start with drunk driving, because for me that's what is a major worry.
Actually, before we go to that, look at these charts. This showed, main idea came, we wanted to make a machine which will curb majority PSV vehicles.
Okay.
But out of going through and further research, we came to realize that even private vehicles cause a lot of accidents.
Okay, so let me just get this right. This red here is public, it's PSV vehicles, and that are involved in accidents. And it's a whopping 42% out of the road accidents that we have in the country. Okay, but out of that, now you explain this as private vehicles have 35%?
Vehicles 15.
Actually, the main idea was to target the private sector. Let's say people of a chain of, let's say a fleet of taxis, or the likes of people like the circles, perhaps, especially in the PSV sector, the likes of people who have very many vehicles, the likes of Easy Coach, we can say. So, but after our research, we came and saw that we might try and curb these PSVs here. But again, as you can see, we also have private sectors.
So wait, this being 2014 and this is 2015, does that mean that the private sector actually went up and overtook the public?
Exactly. That was
wow.
Because you could have tried to curb the PSVs, but the next year, as you can see, we had a whopping 35%
from private vehicles. Do we know what caused that change?
I'm not so sure.
You're not clear on that. Okay, maybe it's some of the government and maybe the formation of NTSA that brought that up. But anyway, for you it was important, given that 35% of accidents are caused by private vehicles. But out of this 35%, we're not able to tell what percentage is caused by alcohol or loud music, but you know they are a player.
Actually, more than half of it.
Okay, more than half of it.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Then let's come to how does this now stop or help us improve those statistics?
So basically, the system
Or
is
reduce. I think the right word is reduce.
So basically, we're going to explain the system in two terms. Actually, it is divided into two phases. My brother here, Levin, is going to take you through the first phase, whereby someone has an intention of driving. Yeah.
Has what?
An intention of driving.
Okay, and they're drunk.
Yeah,
So of course they'll have taken, well, you guys have taken a lot of this, I can see. But anyway, hopefully you're not driving here. But yeah, go on. Explain the first phase.
So the first phase, when the driver enters the vehicle, and he turns on the car.
Continue explaining. You can just continue.
And he turns on the car.
Sorry, we seem to be having a problem with space here, but there you go. So now the car is turned on, and I can see it's got something that you probably would not be able to see from home, but it's got a dashboard here that says finding module. Okay, so he has turned on the car.
So it will activate sound and alcohol sensors. So first, at the event when he enters the car and maybe he's playing loud music, when he turns on the car, the stereo can play.
Yes. Okay.
So when it turns on the car, the sound sensor will send the loud music, and that music must be above 65 decibels. Above.
For it to okay.
So when it's above 65 dB, it will deactivate the ignition.
Wait, let me first of all understand. When you say it's above 65 dB, that is a noise level that is bad because, why is it? What's wrong
I'll
with
say that the 65 decibel mark probably, according to research, it has shown that it has implication to the driver.
Okay.
In that it reduces the reaction time of the driver. Other than that, you have poor concentration time.
Okay, because your mind is probably...
Again, for those people, for the passengers, above 65, it damages your eardrum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we're targeting, actually, as I was saying, especially the part of the sound, we were targeting the PSV.
The PSV.
Because I'm so sure you've been in a scenario whereby you find, like, let's say this old mama or dad won't board certain matatu simply because it's playing loud music.
The sound, the levels are too loud.
Yeah.
And anyway, if it's damaging to your eardrums, I think it should be kept at a minimum whether you're young or old.
Yeah.
But carry on.
So that's for sound. And when the driver enters the car and is drunk, above 0.08 grams per deciliter.
Okay.
The alcohol sensor will sense that breath. And if it takes that limit, it will deactivate the ignition and then send a text message to pre-selected contacts.
Okay.
Maybe friends, family, those pre-selected
And
contacts.
what's the reason for sending the text?
We'll go and then come
So
to that.
basically, we're just going to do a demo to show you. So what happens in this case, as you were saying, in the first instance whereby you have someone with the intention of driving. Let's say this is the drunk driver who's coming to drive.
Okay.
In this instance, as you can see, the moment the vehicle is on, it activates all the sensors, as you can see.
So now, how do I know that the vehicle is on? It doesn't have an engine, so it's not
already
running.
on, yeah. This
All
is
right,
just
so for
basically
those of us at home, vehicle is on, ignition is enabled.
As you can see, it's the
Sound decibels is at 15?
It's at 15 dB as of now, 16 dB as of
16,
now.
okay.
The breath alcohol concentration right now is at 0.1, yeah.
Okay.
So basically what you do, in the case,
What's the legal limit?
the legal limit is 0.08 grams per deciliter.
Okay.
But in most countries, but in other countries, the likes of Germany, Denmark, Canada, the limit is strictly, it should be strictly below 0.05.
Okay.
Anything above that, you're termed as a drunk driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we want to test now the alcohol level. Does that mean you're going to drink it?
We're not going to drink it.
So I was just
It's in the morning.
Just confirming.
So basically, this is our drunk driver.
I don't drink, so I'm good. If it was water, yes. But anyway, I carry on.
So this is our drunk driver. For those who are at home, this is our drunk driver. So in the event where, let's say the car is already on, the sensors are already active. So what it does, when the driver comes, as you can see, there it is.
Oh, so it's purely based on just the fumes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not. It doesn't have to like. Okay.
In fact, if I was drunk myself, it could even be much faster because it's based on a chemical reaction. Yeah.
Oh, from your body.
From the mouth. That's why it's breath alcohol content.
Okay.
So what it does, as you can see right now,
Message sent.
the ignition was disabled. Other than that, it's going to send a text. I'm so sure you're going to find it right now.
Yes,
So sure you're going to find.
So basically that warning sound, and just for the benefit of those who are not able to read this particular screen, it says engine disabled, and that was a warning sound, the beep.
Yeah, the
was
beep,
that,
yeah. The buzzer.
The buzzer.
Yeah, it was a warning.
And
So as you can see, for
we
those
can
at
just
home,
look at the message, and the message here is Alex KCF 00.
alert.
Oh, that's alert. I thought it was Alex.
Yeah.
All right. Drunk driver. Vehicle current location is. It gives the full
GPS coordinates.
the codings, and please take action. Okay.
Yeah. So what it does, it's going to send a text to pre-selected contacts. It is not limited in number. You can put as many as you want, either friends or relatives. It's going to be as many as you want. So this is, as I said earlier on, this is whereby someone had the intention of driving. You know, you haven't broken any law.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is it.
So it literally stops you before you even start
drive.
driving.
Yeah, you can't.
But now, question is, do I install this for myself in my car, or does it come as a pre-installed something that now the manufacturers maybe you'll sell to?
It can. We wanted something which can be post-installed. Rather you buy the equipment first, because of course we are not in Kenya alone. We just we don't manufacture vehicles. Yeah. So basically, it's something which just like the GPS tracker. It's normal something which is you install it later on.
Okay.
Due to your own convenience. Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I'm wondering is because if I know that I drink and drive, I may not want to install it. So really, it would be the whole purpose of having the whole thing done.
Yeah, but that's why we are urging the government. We are strictly urging urging the government that if given a chance, this thing is going to reduce the number of deaths due to drunk driving. As I told you earlier on, you could see that the statistics show that we normally lose 3,000 people annually, which translates to a GDP of 5.6% of our GDP,
okay.
Economic scale.
So all right.
But you can look at this statistic. You know, this can explain further. Look at the percentage rate from Monday to Sunday. You'll realize that from Friday to Sunday, that's the point
so
where
the peak where you have the peak for obvious reasons.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Okay.
So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that is the peak. So that shows that, you know, from Friday there is hiking, going to clubbing, and extra. So this explains what Menjo is saying.
Okay. Fantastic. So now, let's come to the sound levels. But before we go to the sound levels, this sensor, how sensitive is it? Because obviously from what you've done, you've literally held the bottle next to it. But in a car, it could be a huge car, and how will it pick?
This thing, it should be placed at the steering wheel. It requires a proximity of around 50 centimeters. But we are not opting for this as we are doing more research, but there's this technology which is currently underway. It's called the tissue spectrometry, and another one is called the distance spectrometry. What it does, this thing is based on breath-based system, whereby let's say if someone is drunk, what it does, it picks your breath in less than a second.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be even more effective. It's something which is underway. It's a breakthrough technology.
Okay.
So if we had the actual equipment, it would even be much faster.
It'll be faster.
Yeah.
Now this, once the beep has gone off and it has sent the message, does it cut off the ignition?
Yeah, you can't start it.
You cannot start it.
That's
why. How long?
For around 5 minutes. That is what we were planning on. Okay. Because this is just a prototype. As you can see right now, if I was a relative and I got the distress text, I can come easily right now and ignite your vehicle and drive you off.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now the other question would be if it triggers off and I cannot put on the car and somebody else comes to drive and you're still in the car as the owner of the car who's drunk, would it be able to move because the fumes are still there?
I don't know. Right now, if I open this, it won't detect any alcohol, simply because it requires the proximity. Of course, it just picks the driver's breath, not the passenger's breath.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's now look at the sound. You're also dealing with sound levels here.
The sound, unfortunately, we can't reach. It requires a 65 decibels. Yeah. It requires a closed area, as you know, in a matatu scenario. So in fact, when I calibrated it, I had to lock myself in a room, at least with open windows. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And generally speaking, how long has this taken you to come up with this creation?
It took us around 4 months because actually the first 2 months was simulation, And then the next one was prototyping, actually coming up with this.
Okay.
So.
And how does it affect the engine system? Because then I'm imagining you'd have to have a knowledge of, first of all, having this system work, and then it integrates to the system of the car for it now to, you know, sort of short circuit the ignition so that you cannot start.
Now that belongs to the people with mechanical parts.
So you have to work with
mechanical people. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was going, let me just now go to part 2 of the system. So part 2 is whereby, let's say someone initially was not drunk, but
they're drinking
while driving. You know, now that becomes an offense. Or probably you are playing, let's say, not excessively loud music per se, but just good music, less than 65 decibel mark. And then in the event of driving, you increase the volume past the limit. And it gave you a warning and you did not heed to it. So in this event, this is whereby, let's say someone is not drunk or not playing loud music. So what happens? As you can see.
It shows the vehicle is on.
So this is going to happen.
Britain enabled. So the music is going up now, assuming.
No, I want to power up the engine now. As you can see.
Oh yeah, because initially you were not in motion.
Yeah,
it stops you before you even start.
This is whereby, let's say you are not drunk per se.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this, so what happens in this case? If it detects alcohol, it means probably you are drinking while driving. You know that now that becomes an offense. Yeah. Or even if you're playing loud music in this instance, it means you're not hit to the warning and you're playing above 65 decibel. So in this case, we're going to work with the alcohol part, whereby, let's say you're focusing on someone who's drinking while driving. So in this case, this is it, as you can see. So in this case, as you can see, in this case, it's not going to disable the ignition. It's going to cut off the fuel system. Yeah. So what happens? It's going to give you some grace period for you to veer off the road and park your vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this case, it's not only going to send a text to your relatives or friends rather, but it's also going to be inclusive of the police because you've committed an offense. As you can see, I've also received a text now, both of us.
I also feel like I've received one. I don't know whether you put me in the system. I don't know where the text has come from, but anyway.
I'll consider that one. I'll consider that one. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see right now, other than that, it also imposes a fine, and this fine is something which is going to be cleared through Safaricom M-Pesa platform. Yeah. So
the camera is that on there.
Yeah. So in that case, as you can see, there's a fine. This is the fine pin which is on.
Okay.
Yeah. So the issues of, let's say, the current method involves the using of a handheld breathalyzer. And you know, such practices are mad with, they are tedious processes, they are time-consuming processes. Other than that, they're always mad with corruption.
Okay.
There are several instances that have been reported, yeah? So the car, as it is right now, is totally immobilized, provided that there's a fine pending. You can't drive that vehicle.
Until you pay the fine.
Until you pay the fine.
But now, what if the system is slow and, I'm not able to pay the fine? Or let's assume this is at 1 a.m. where I don't have a place where I can pay the fine.
We are banking on M-Pesa.
You'd be forcing me now to pay the fine, in quotes, to the police officer.
No. As opposed to what happens in this case, you see, if it, since the police are going to get the text, the same way that when you dial 911, the same way, when you just call 911, it won't take you to, let's say, police station in Rongai. It's going to take you to the nearest police station. Yeah. So even this one, it works with. We want it to work with the same principle. So what happens in this case, in an event whereby, let's say, you're on the 4th lane, and you're not in a position to move to veer off the road and park a vehicle, what happens in this case? A policeman can just come. We can just have as little as 2 police officers manning, let's say, Magadi Road, instead of having like 15 NTSA people. On the road, yeah. You can just have 2 of them. So what he can do, he can just come. In the event whereby, let's say, you are stuck, he can just come and through a specific phone belonging to the police. This is whereby we are assuming the state has imposed, yeah, because you are urging them to impose it, yeah. So what happens in this case, as you can see, this one is going to go off, meaning it can override the system.
So what have you done? You've sent a text to the system.
Yeah, as you can see, it has gone off. So in this state, the vehicle can be turned on. You can start the engine.
And that's assuming now either a police officer has come or somebody has come to your rescue and they're able to drive now from that point.
You see, in the second instance whereby I was talking about you've broken that was an offense. So the only person who can override the system is the police, because you have to be charged for that. Okay. You see. And for the M-Pesa to be, the transaction to be confirmed, it's something which has to be verified after you've been charged and all that. So in this case, there's no leniency. This system does not depend with the leniency of the police officers. Because what it does, it's something which is transparent enough. We're going to be using M-Pesa. So the issues of corruption will no longer be there.
Will no longer be there. Gentlemen, I think we'll have to wind it up right there because of time, but thank you very much. Very innovative, I must say, but would you say it is ready to be sold out, or is it still in its conception? You're still working on it?
Of course, given the right funding right now, the idea is to make it as minute as possible and use the latest technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but we are inviting the corporate world
to invest into it.
And the government itself.
The government,
All right.
So I forgot to mention, through the same system again, you can also track a vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll have to wind it up right there. Thank you very much for that. And from us here at KTN News, would like to say goodbye and wish you all a fantastic day. But do stand by. We've got Worldview coming up with Sophia Wanuna. And have yourselves a wonderful, productive, and a great day. God bless.